This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com and GatheringMagic.com, your place to explore the game.
Hey guys, I'm Dave from the YouTube channel The Commander Lounge, and this is my Xenagos God of Revels Commander deck. Okay, now first off, I'm a huge Gruul Clan fan, so obviously I had to build a Xenagos God of Revels deck. I honestly think Xenagos is probably the best Gruul commander if you wanted to go, in Gruul colors. And the reason why I think that is because in Gruul colors, you basically just want to come out with huge fatties and just smash face. And what's better than taking huge fatties and smashing face? Well, with Xenagos, he makes those huge fatties, he doubles their power and toughness, and he also gives them haste. So he makes some super mega hasty fatties, and that's why I love Xenagos. So yeah, let's get into it. First we're going to go through my utility lands. I've got Reliquary Tower, it's a commander staple. Tectonic Edge, good at getting rid of lands. Temple of the False God, land ramp I guess you could call it. Usually I have a good amount of ramp in this deck to make this always valid when it comes out to play for the most part. Then we have Rogue's Passage. I honestly, even though a lot of my creatures have trample in this deck, some of the really big creatures in this deck don't have anything at all, any type of evasion at all, so giving it unblockable is really good. Same thing with Skarrg the Rage Pits. I don't care about it just being +1/+1. The main thing is that he's giving the creature trample. Well, this is giving that huge fatty trample. And then Kessig Wolf Run, I guess you can say it's on the same thing as all the other ones given trample, but I mean this card by itself just ends games. I mean it's good without Xenagos, but with Xenagos, he makes you want to activate this, not be sneaky about it, and activate this like at sorcery speed, so then you can double that creature's power plus the X you put into it. So sometimes you'll be letting them know like Kessig Wolf Run's about to get out of hand. And then I got different types of fetch lands. We got Wood of Foothills, Naya Panorama. I love these fetches, the Naya and Jund Panorama. They're just great because they're pretty aggressive, but they can also fetch when you need to fetch. Then I have Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds. Now going into my different dual lands, got Command Tower, Reflecting Pool, Rootbound Crag, Cinder Glade, Stomping Ground, Karplusan Forest, Gruul Turf, and Raging Ravine is my main land for this deck. It's amazing. It's amazing land. It just keeps on scaling up, and you could use Xenagos on this too, which is pretty sweet. Next land is Forgotten Cave. It's just my cycling in red, and I run 8 mountains. And then Mosswort Bridge is just a perfect addition in this deck because it's not really that hard to activate this. All I have to do is have a creature with total power, well, creatures with total power 10 or greater on the table, which is not going to be tough, so I might be able to get a fatty out just for 1 mana. That's why I love Mosswort Bridge in this deck. Tranquil Thicket is just my cycle in green, and then I believe I run 10 forests. Alright, so now into my mana accelerant / fixing. Run Birds of Paradise. It's a great 1-drop. Orcish Lumberjack, I really love this for a Gruul deck. A lot of times you get late game, and sometimes you won't even be using that excess mana you got near the end of the game with how long the game's been going. But this guy lets you sacrifice a forest to add 3 mana of any combination of green and red, which is crazy. This can also lead to some really fast starts. Generally in a game of Commander playing with Xenagos, you want to get Xenagos out as soon as possible. And then after that, bring out your fatties and do what you need to do with that. So don't really use this. Don't waste the forest early in the game just to get Xenagos out as soon as possible. You want to wait till after Xenagos is out, because you don't want to wait too long to put out a fatty that you can't afford anymore because you got rid of a forest. So be careful when using this at the same time. Soul Ring, you don't have to be careful about using this. This is just insane ramp to get where you need to go. Sakura-Tribe Elder is just rampant growth on a stick. Cultivate and Kadama's Reach. They are probably my favorite ramp spells ever. It's just so awesome to be able to ramp at growth and get a card, get another land into your hand, so you can just make sure you're hitting land drops. Somberwald Sage is absolutely amazing. You tap it for any 3 colors of mana. Any 1 color to your mana pool, but it's 3 of them. You can only spend it for casting creature spells, which is not going to be tough in this deck, because I believe I run 37 creatures in this deck. Now I run Explosive Vegetation. I could run Sky Shroud Claim in this deck, but I'm fine with just having Explosive Vegetation in this deck. I love this card. Garruk Wildspeaker, he's great. He essentially ramps you by untapping 2 target lands. He tries to protect himself with a 3/3 beast, and the last one, if you go wide with your fatties, you can just end the game by overrunning them all. And now we got another ramp piece, which is Oracle of Mul Daya, probably the best ramp in Commander in my eyes. I think it's just, well, besides Sol Ring, of course, but in green, this is the best ramp in the color green, because it doesn't only let you play additional lands, it lets you look for them easier on the top of the deck, and it also kind of sifts through, it kind of filters your deck to make sure you keep hitting gas. So that's why Oracle Mul Daya is so good. Drum Hunter, I'm not too big a fan of drawing the card at the end of turn, but I really do love that it's both a draw and a ramp creature, so that's why he's in here. And now we got a new card, which is Zendikar Resurgence. 7 mana. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. And whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. So we have Mana Flare, and we have, what is it, Glimpse of Nature. That's ridiculous, especially like I said, I got like 37 creatures. It's always going to be doing work. I love this card. And it's also going to help for Genesis Wave. So yeah, that's why I have that in here. And I'm not usually a huge fan of tutors, but I think Signal the Clans is a hilarious tutor, because it'll usually get you what you need, but some games you'll have the 3 cards that you pick out, and they all essentially do the same thing, but there's one you want more than the other, and then it's a nice little gamble, a nice little 33.3% chance of you trying to get that card you need. So it's a fun card in my eyes. Hoarding Dragon is just, I don't run too many artifacts, but it feels almost necessary with some of the artifacts I do run. Like if I need Ramp, get Soul Ring. If the board's getting too crazy, Perilous Vault or Oblivion Stone. And, stuff like that. That's why I run Hoarding Dragon. It's also a 5-drop that I really need it in the spot. So I'm a little heavy on the mana curve, but you expect that with huge creatures. So next, into our straight kind of card draw / card fixing, we have Crystal Ball. It's a budget Sensei's Divining Top. It's a great card. It's an insane card. Sometimes I like this better than Sensei's Divining Top, but I really like it for the actual price, that it's not worth barely anything. So that's why I like that card. I also run Harmonize. I mean, it's green, draw 3 cards. You don't see that every day. It's just very good in green. Greater Good. This card ends games. It just ends games. It might be too good, like too good for Commander. I don't know. Especially with Xenagos, he kind of breaks it a little more by, like, let's say you have a 7/7 Trampler, you double it up to 14/14 Trampler. You bash face. If you got other creatures, you don't have to worry about sacrificing it. Sacrifice it, draw 14, discard 3. That's just so much value for 4 mana. Then we have Garruk's Pack Leader. Play fat, big creatures, draw cards. Soul of Harvest, play any creature, draw cards, and it's a 6/6 Trampler, which is really good. Garruk's Horde, he's a 7/7 Trampler. He's kind of like Oracle of Mul Daya for creatures. He's not good as Oracle of Mul Daya, but it's nice that I do have the opportunity to play, if the card's relevant on the top of my deck, that's a creature, I can play it right from the top of my deck. But mainly it's in here because it's a 7/7 Trampler. Domri Rade, he's card advantage, he's removal, and, he's, I guess, win games if I can ever get this dang emblem off. I don't know if that will ever happen, but we'll see. Now we go into the straight removal, which we've got Prey Upon. It's 1 mana fight. Amazing. Ulvenwald Tracker. He's fight on the stick. Even more amazing. Pit Fight. I really like Pit Fight in this deck because mainly what that says. Instant speed. Like, it's nice to be able to sit back on your fatty and not exactly, do what you need to do. You wait to see what they're going to do, who they're going to attack into to pop this off. So I like that. And next we have Soul's Fire. probably it's my sneaky card of the deck. This card will end games. It can come out of nowhere and end games, because I mean, first you can see it as like, okay, this is like a pseudo fight card that removes creatures, but because it says to player, like when Xenagos makes that creature into a 14/14, and maybe that creature bashes in and kills the one player, you can then take this card and throw the 14 damage into someone's face, and that's really good. We have Chandra's Ignition. This is kind of like my Wrath for Gruul. It's really good with Death Touch, because it sweeps the whole board with just a little Death Touch creature. And it's also good with your fatties, because even though it wraths your board too, most of the time it's going to wrath your board too, you don't mind that too much, because usually you don't have to worry about killing Xenagos with this, because he's indestructible. And you basically just want your one big creature around and just keep on Hulk smashing. So that's why I love this card in this deck. Steel Hellkite, crazy good value creature for artifact creature. It's just a 5/5 flying for 6 with 2 generic fire breathing, and then you pay X generic you basically pay 0 to get rid of tokens. That's why this card's around. It hoses tokens. Inferno Titan, I love this card. It pairs really well. It combos really well with a card in this deck called Nightshade Peddler. It turns this guy into a machine gunner once they're soul bonded together. Crater Hellion can do the same thing, soul bond it, but this is basically like a early game utility creature hoser, and it gets rid of little tokens before they get big. So that's why it's in the deck. Warstorm Surge is just a great card. I'm playing big creatures. You might as well get a lot more value out of it by, as soon as it comes into play, throwing the damage to kill a creature or just to the face, just to smash someone's face. It also combos real well with Genesis Wave. If you get a high enough number to get this out in a couple big creatures, then they all kind of trigger together. Next, as my other kind of pseudo Wrath card, it's Balefire Dragon. I mean, it just makes it so much better with Xenagos, making it a 12/12 bashing and dealing 12 damage to all the opponent's creatures that I'm attacking. So it's real great. This is another one that you could also soul bond to Nightshade Peddler and do some work with. So I like it. And then we got Beast Within, just the best removal in green. That's all I gotta say about that card. It's amazing. Hull Breach, if you guys are a Gruul fan, you guys are already high-fiving right now, because this card is awesome. I mean, it's your basic 2-for-1 card. It's always going to get rid of an artifact and enchantment. I've never cast this and just gotten rid of one thing. It's value in Gruul colors. It's fantastic. Acidic Slime, not only does it pair well with Chandra's Ignition being a Death Toucher, but it also gets rid of problem lands, gets rid of problem artifacts and enchantments, so it's in here. Bane of Progress, I was a huge fan when I saw this card printed. Like, you get a huge beater for getting rid of every single artifact and enchantment. I don't run too many artifacts and enchantments, so this card is an all-star in this deck. And then afterwards, Xenagos just doubles how big he is. Woodfall Primus, it destroys target non-creature permanent when it enters in 6/6 trample and body, and when it dies, it persists, so you can destroy another non-creature permanent. It's a great card. Terrasodon. We don't have, Sylvan Primordial anymore. Terrasodon's just fine, though. I mean, it's a 9/9. This is the one that you want to give trample or unblockable to, because turning into an 18/18, get chumped by a little token isn't fun. So you want to get this, give this some sort of evasion. But, I mean, like, you can use this defensively or offensively. That's why I love Terrasodon. You can get rid of those problem permanents, or you can get rid of your lands to make 3/3s and kind of overrun and win. And then I got my, oh god, the board's getting too crazy, I can't understand this, let's just get rid of it all. Oblivion Stone destroys it all, Perilous Vault exiles it all. Even though this exiles it all for only 1 more mana, this is like, what is it, like $30 or $40, and this is like $2 or $3. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand competitively with whatever it is, Tron, but I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to talk about that, that's just going to make me angry. Okay, next we've got my graveyard removal. We got Loaming Shaman, which is really good, and Scavenging Ooze, which is nice, getting rid of creatures and gaining a life and getting bigger. I really do like the gain life, because gain life is definitely relevant in Commander games. And then we go into the full-out life gain cards. First, I got Wormcoil Engine. You will never see value like this on an artifact creature ever again, I believe. I just think this is too much value. A 6 mana for a 6/6 Death Touch lifelinker that when it dies you get a 3/3 colorless worm that has Death Touch, and then the other one's got Lifelink. Like, that's just too much value, especially for an artifact creature. So next I run Palaka Worm. I really love this with Feldon of the Third Path. You'll see that card later, but it combos real well with it because I can just bring this in every turn and get both effects at the end of every turn. But I mean, it's a 7/7 Trampler, and it's just great for Xenagos to double up. Next, I have Spore Frog, kind of a little bit of a pet card of mine. I love this card. I mean, yeah, they see the fog coming, but especially comboed with Feldon, you can keep bringing him back and sacrificing him. I really think it's a funny card. I love it. And I got Deadly Recluse. He doesn't look like much stat-wise, but I mean, he's a Death Toucher. He kind of scares away early game aggression, so I like it. And I run Nightshade Peddler. All those combos that I was talking about, it's because of this guy. Because he can Soul Bomb, give Death Touch. All right, next. Next, I got my kind of recursion. Eternal Witness, just a great card. You know, get the cards you need from your graveyard back to your hand. And Feldon of the Third Path, which says, okay, I'm not going to do anything to the cards in your graveyard. I'm just going to put tokens that are copied onto the battlefield, because that's fair, you know? I think that's just ridiculous that it puts tokens that are... It doesn't mess with the card. It doesn't exile the card in the graveyard. It just puts them in. It's fine. I think this card is just... It's broken. It's great. It's a fantastic card. Next, Zealous Conscript. This is another pet card of mine. I haven't yet to take it in Ultimate of Planeswalker, but I dream to do that one day, so we'll see. But this card can actually, like, kind of end games, you know? He's really good. Next is a Trampler Enabler, which is Naya, God of the Hunt. Like I said, some of those creatures need to have some sort of evasion or trample, and this gives it to them. It can also pump your guys up before they get doubled up with Xenagos, which is really good. Stalking Vengeance. I really like this for when I go wide with fat creatures, and I know that a Wrath's coming, as long as it's not exile. But you know, this is just great because once your big fatties they all get killed, you can just throw all the damage to the faces after it's all done. Now these are big creatures that kind of help go wide. Rampaging Balos. I mean, it's kind of like a staple in green. Landfalls, put 4/4s in. It's a 6/6 Trampler. It's great. Next is Utvera Hellkite. Utvera Hellkite is just great for attacking. Keep on spamming more 6/6 dragons, and it exponentially increases because whenever a dragon you control attacks, put it 6/6 down. It's just a great card. Giant Adaphage is the same way on the ground with Trample, so it's got like pseudo evasion, and once it gets double up to 14/14, it's usually dealing damage to the face at some point. Then you just keep making tokens of this guy. Malignus may be the best card comboed with Xenagos, because let's say your opponent's still at 40, so this comes in as a 20/20, and then Xenagos says, hey, how about you become a 40/40? And then, you know, you give it Trample or give it Unblockability and just get in for the win for the most part. It's a great card. Handleback Goliath just says, keep playing those fatties, I want to get bigger. So that's why he's in here. Naya Soul Beast is a little bit of a gamble card, but in a 4-player game, I think it's worth it. I think the most I've got this up before Xenagos did his thing was 16/16. So I hope to get it a little higher, but we'll see. We'll see how big I can get this guy. I think it's just a fun card to kind of get your achievement on with. Try to get achievements out of him at most. So game enders, we've got Overwhelming Stampede. You go wide, you somehow get tokens. You know, somehow you go wide with either fat creatures or a mix with tokens, and this will end the game. And last we have Genesis Wave, which is, you know, not surprising to see in green, but sometimes you gotta go that route, especially if you got a ton of mana and it's late game and you need to get back into it. Genesis Wave lets you do that. Pretty much takes over it after that too. So yeah, guys, that is my Xenagos God of Revels Commander deck. If you guys love Gruul colors, you guys love fat creatures and love to smash in with haste, you guys should give this deck a try. And if you guys like this video, love my voice or whatever, you guys should check out my YouTube channel. It's called The Commander Lounge. And yeah. Thank you for watching CMDR Decks. Please subscribe and favorite.